Okay, so Leica is known to be the holy grail of cameras, and the significance of their M-bodies cannot be denied by anyone, even those who don't really like it. Now, I've been shooting X-Pro 3 for a while now, and although the desire is quite strong, I'm still doubting getting a digital Leica M. And before we go into conversation about it, I must point out that we're not talking today specifically about price or performance. Just keep in mind that by default I'm okay with M10 as it is, and I realize what rangefinder and manual focusing is. So it's not another video about how someone doesn't get why Leica doesn't shoot 4K and has only one card slot. Not that shit. Yo, what up guys, it's Aperture Value with yet another episode, and today we're talking about king of them all, Stan Lee among cameras, the beautiful and mostly unaffordable to mortals Leica. I referenced Leica in many of episodes, and in my video about X-Pro 3, I said that M10 is ultimately better camera considering my needs. Although X-Pro 3 is well made, it's definitely far from Leica's quality and materials. It is much more simplistic and sleek, and well, it does look better than Fuji. The viewfinder is much more clear and bigger as well. Leica's system does come with a bit of a weight trade-off compared to X-Pro 3, but not by much. M10 with 3 primes will easily fit in my bag instead of Fuji, and I'm pretty sure my bag won't feel different as well. Things like fast glass being expensive or close focusing is not that great don't bother me much, considering the type of photography I do. Even though Leica does give you a bigger sensor and more flexible DNG files, I don't care much, since X-Pro files are already good enough for me. Leica glass is also a great advantage, and of course, I wouldn't dare saying that it's better than Fujinon's. Unfortunately, the privilege of getting most of Leica's lenses goes specifically to Leica camera owners, since adapting to other cameras gives you color shifts and things alike. Many people say they can achieve that Leica look only by using both Leica glass and cameras together, otherwise the charm doesn't work. But who am I to talk about it? Instead, let's talk about what I know. And guess what? Fuji X-Pro 3 checks all the points for me. It is a light, beautiful and a well-performing camera, with a nice selection of native glass, which is great optically and price-wise as well. Hybrid viewfinder is absolutely amazing, and the idea of a hidden screen does bring back the joy of the shooting process. I really love where Fujifilm is heading with its X-Pro 3 line, and I can't wait to see another generation hopefully coming soon. So why would I think of Leica then? With all the mentioned things about Leica, I definitely see getting Leica M10 as a natural progression, just a level up camera. But contrary to Fujifilm, I'm skeptical about where Leica is going with their digital M cameras, and that is what stops me from getting it, at least for now. I'll explain what I mean. So, we've already established that we won't focus on price or performance. Let's leave it to us versus them kind of fight in the abyss of photo forums. Let's take Leica for what it is, and I couldn't go wrong starting with the viewfinder. I still don't know how come they didn't integrate the electronic finder like Fuji did with X-Pro 3. Leica says they don't do it because it doesn't look good enough. I said that's bullshit, but whatever. We're talking about traditional optical viewfinder. If you insist on having optical viewfinder, why in the world you don't develop it? Although it's big and bright, the magnification is always fixed, and I have no slightest idea why they couldn't incorporate variable magnifications. That would make so many lenses more usable and viewfinder area much cleaner without this confusing double frame lines. Contax did a great zoom-in viewfinder decades ago. Why not make it better and put that shit in a digital Leica? Being classy and simplistic is one thing, but that's just making it dumb and primitive. Your selling point is OVF, so make it stand out. Make it adjustable to available focal lengths and make it distance correctable finally, so photographers can get precise framing. After all, people are paying a big buck for it. To me, who uses multiple focal lengths and hates 35mm by the way, Leica's viewfinder does bring up some major concerns. And that is probably the most important reason why I'm not sure about getting Leica. Yes, X-Pro 3 also has a fixed magnification, but it does show the exact frame lines for each lens, and if it's too wide or too long, I can always switch to EVF. In Leica, you have what was done by brilliant engineers decades ago, and what today's marketing guys who replaced them try to sell as a unique and old-school feature. Not to mention that viewfinder LED system from last century, come on. I agree that some concepts were ought to become tradition, but most were just the result of technological limitations of the time. It is not reason to keep it that way and call it tradition. Things like colors, form factor and lens mount can be kept the same and called traditional, but not technology. It is camera after all, not a paperweight. Moving on to another issue, and that is electronics and hardware. Leica decided to step into digital, and with M8 being one of the first mirrorless interchangeable lens cameras and M9 being the first full-frame one, they had all chances to make history once again. But as we know, they f***ed up big time, and honestly, M10 is the first digital Leica done well. And it's just this inability or unwillingness to make the electronics work good throughout the digital Leica history. And remember, we're not talking some innovative or first-of-its-kind technology. Digital Leicas are really unimpressive spec-wise. They take a well-known, established and stable technology, and working their way around M-body should be easy peasy, considering the fact that AF is not something to worry about. Still, M8 and M9 had problems with sensor itself and had no live view, Type 240 was chunky, overly complicated, and reportedly gave bad DNGs to work with. Add all of that to an overall electronics reliability, and here you have another major concern. Now, as I've said, M10s are a different story. In fact, I think for a brand like Leica, M10 had to be their first digital camera. Still, I don't get some things, even though I'm fine with them. Like, for instance, the UHS-1 only SD card compatibility, especially with M10R introduction, that's just showing a dumb ignorance, seriously. Adding UHS-2 wouldn't hurt the price nor the classic and minimalistic brand image. And as I've stated at the beginning, I'm not bragging about performance here at all. I don't want Leica to be an ultimate performance machine, but what I expect is at least adequate tech that works well and makes sense. So, summing up all the things said, you see now what I mean by not being fully confident in digital Leicas. Sure, even given that same M10P or M10R would be a nice upgrade for me, even though the price-wise and the performance-wise, you don't get that much of a benefit. I guess what I'm trying to say is that probably there are many photographers like me who have same doubts about getting a Leica, and I really hope that will change it for better in the future. Soon Leica M11 will be announced and I wait for it with big hopes, and maybe, just maybe, it will change my mind. Meanwhile, I'll be shooting my badass Titanium X Pro 3 and get more piggy bangs, if you know what I mean.